I got Air One here, guys, and I am about to shoot them this direction in my studio because I have an Oliphant backdrop back there that I love to shoot. I'm gonna teach you about composition and crop and how I'm working all that. All the time, I like to shoot horizontally. And if any of my clients ever need a vertically oriented picture, I just tell them to crop it. So lately, since that becomes more and more of an issue because of, you know, if they're putting it on a website versus a book, or if they're doing it, putting it in a store, I've got to make sure they have enough room. So if you look at my older work, especially with actors, I always crop their heads off. Lately, sometimes I crop their heads off, but in a corporate environment, I usually leave a sliver of space above the head so that the background can be extended, and then they can crop it however they want, and it allows me the space to still shoot horizontally, but they can crop vertically. So I get Air One in here and I'm gonna shoot him. I always start off with the head-on-head shot, right? Hold that, hint of a smile right there, good. So I'm gonna leave the top of the head in the frame and I'm gonna crop right below the t-shirt. I'll get a little bit of chest, make sure I get the shoulders and the arms. I can come out, if I wanna be safer and get a little bit more body, I can make sure I'm at my 92, chin is down. I can also get the frame out of the lens, but I just watch the top of the head. As long as I have a smidgen of it like this, I'm good to go. And that's a decent crop. I got enough chest, I got the arms going out of the frame, and I've got a little space over the top of the head if I need to extend that background. The thing that's important to me in my work visually, I like the eyes to be above center line, so I want them as high in the frame as possible. If I'm shooting an actor and I'm not concerned about cropping their head, I'll come in and do a crop like this, or my final image may look something like this. Hold that, right there. Good. My final image may be cropped something like that. I don't mind going into the top of the head. Now I want to show you the difference between that and if we go to a vertical crop. I'm going to keep the lens and everything the same. I'm just going to flip the camera vertically. I'm going to keep it at approximately chin height again. The center of the lens at chin height is where I usually go. So we're going to work in there. I have to raise my tripod to get there with him. So that's about center of the lens at about chin height right there. Now, the thing that kills me is that if I'm at this distance, I'm not going to get the shoulders in the frame. I really like shoulders in the frame. If I shoot them like this, which I will, and I can recompose and then go like, watch this. So here is the reason I'm not a big fan of vertical crops. I don't even have shoulders here, guys. Now I know I'm going to crop top to bottom. I don't think the DSLR or 2x3 format or 6x9, whatever you want to call it, I think it's too long even if you go width-wise or up and down. So you've got to figure out where your crop is. Usually, just to make it easier, it's always easier to crop on the body and then you're just cropping above the head wherever you feel you want to crop above the head. Unless you want to see more body and extend the backdrop, then you could crop that way. So one way or the other, you're going to crop top or bottom. I would rather, because I'm giving this off to a retoucher generally, and I'm not doing it, I'd rather crop the body where I want the body cropped and then just say to my retoucher, every time you get one of my shots vertically, just crop the top. They're not going to come in on the sides. It works the opposite when you shoot horizontally. You know, I usually put the body on one side or the other and then have my retoucher crop it off to an 8x10 format or something like that for actors when we're doing the actor thing. Or square, you know, usually I try and get them into one side and then they just crop square starting out at the side because a lot of people use square format these days. So the other thing, you've seen me move people throughout the tutorial, so turn the body this way. Let's just, not that far. Everyone, come back to me. That's it, good, stay right there. Just a little bit, hold that, right there is great. Tilt the head a little bit this way. Good, you gotta stop with the misery, man. Good. I feel like a fish out of water shooting like this, guys. I really feel uncomfortable, like with my elbow up like this, I really feel the cameras are designed like this. Our eyes are designed to see horizontally. So movie screens are horizontal. When you see these people in a movie theater, they're horizontal. I just don't like the way the body looks when it's turned. I don't like that we don't have the room, the eye doesn't have room to wander. I'm just never a big fan of shooting headshots vertically. Other stuff, I just don't like flipping the camera. I'm lazy, and I've got a 5DSR. I got enough megapixels not to worry about it. I just usually shoot horizontally and crop in even if I'm shooting wider. Let's shoot the same shot vertically, the same angle, stay on that angle, and I'll shoot it horizontally the way that I shoot. Chin down, forehead up, right there, hold that. We're gonna drop the camera a little bit because to get it on the same height, basically, hold that right there. And this is the way the crop would be in a horizontal fashion. To me, it's a much stronger image. You guys got to look at your crops too. If you're cropping after the fact, you got to make sure that you're giving this shot the most juice. If I'm shooting a shot like that, it's very powerful. Watch, if I zoom out to 70, or if I move back and I shoot a similar shot, don't move. It's a very similar shot, but there's more information in the frame on vertical. Look at the difference in the strength of the image. I just lost a ton of strength in the image. And plus, a lot of profile shots and everything are this small. So you want the person as close up in there as you can. So we stay here, we go back to our crop factor, scoot back a little bit, drop the shoulder down, bring the chin out, work your nose this way a little bit, hold that, and boom, I'm in. I can give them a little bit of space above the head just to make sure it's cool. And we know we're gonna retouch the light out, and this is more like my kind of speed. If I'm turning them this way, I'm gonna crop the front shoulder, but let's try cropping the back shoulder. I think what that will do, just forget the lights back there. I would probably move the light if I was gonna do this. Go nose this way. But the crop, if I put them way over here, right? I feel like he's too plastered to one side for me. He's too plastered into the corner. I usually like things pretty simple. A lot of times art directors will be like, well, we needed it on this side of the page and we just flipped it. I hate when they do that. That's not what the person really looks like. That's a flipped image. It's like a mirror image of them. It doesn't look cool. I get a lot of people talking about me chopping the heads off, right? And I had some problems on commercial shoots where I chopped the heads off, and then the Barnes & Noble needed to fit this guy on this column, and there's no way they could extend it, and they couldn't put the shot there, and they were not happy. So after that, on all my commercial shoots, I started to leave a sliver up there. I can go in and crop it later. I don't love doing that, but I have been leaving a little bit more. So watch your crop. Make sure, I don't want any floating heads. You got to make sure, like if you've got a guy in a suit, let's say Air One was wearing a suit and he had a tie. You got to crop under the knot of the tie. If the collar points, you got to crop under the collar points. No floating heads, guys. I want to see shoulders. You got to leave some shoulder action. All right? Leave a little sliver on top. Leave a little shoulder action. Go down to the chest. You don't need to go way down here in a headshot. And mess with, if you're a vertical shooter and you love shooting vertically, mess with horizontal a little bit. Find a happy medium for yourself. For me, the vertical shot is I'm too jammed in there. The eye doesn't have anywhere to wander, and I don't like shooting the camera like that. Like, this is very uncomfortable to me. I'm not thrilled by it at all. So I don't do it very much. I'm a horizontal shooter. Most photographers who are trying to do strange angles are trying to compensate for the fact that they think that they need that for their art, but they don't need that at all. It's all about simplicity. It's going to work way better. You don't have to overcompensate for anything by doing something funky or getting up high and shooting low or shooting them tilted on a ridiculous angle. I'm into simplicity, and I think that works best.